1,000 living Americans share DNA with the enslaved people of Catoctin Furnace. People who, until this study, had no way of knowing where their family line began. People who had been told explicitly and implicitly by silence and by law that their history before 1870 was inaccessible. That is the year of the first U.S. Census that listed all Black Americans by name. Before that, for the entirety of American slavery, Black people were documented as property, listed in ledgers, not by name, but by age, sex, and monetary value. For most African American families, the genealogical record simply stops at 1870, as if an entire civilization materialized out of nothing. This study blew that wall apart. But what most people are not seeing in the headlines is this. The genetic story inside those bones was not just about ancestry. It was about...
Okay, you guys get what he just said? He said that thanks to the enslavers, they came to America and they falsified evidence and records to erase our ancestry here in America before they got here. That was their, and that's Bible. Cut us off from being a nation. That's Bible. So I don't understand why we keep going back and trying to pretend that we don't understand what they're doing now. The whole plan, the whole tweak, the whole confederacy was to cut us off from being a nation. So why would they give us Israelite slave names, have an Israelite roster, a ship roster, proving that we were Israelites when they put Israelites on that ship? Why would they do that? All of that stuff, anything to identify us to be anybody but those slaves they brought here, would defeat their purpose. Their purpose is to say we have no inheritance in this land. They are belligerent trustees. In other words, they took our children, bred them, sold them, gave them for gifts. They took our ancestors' children, who we are the children, and they taught them that they were brought here from slavery. And their ancestors, there was nobody here but so-called the people who came across the Bering Strait, and by the time we woke up and looked around, they had invented a whole new race, a mulatto race. And Christ, Yahushua, in the 13th chapter of Matthew, talks about the wheat and the tare. He didn't just give that parable. Why you Israelite camps and some of you people who understand how to decode messages, why do you think he was just talking for nothing? He was telling us about an event that would happen to us based on their attempt to cut us off from being a nation. That's what this is all about. To show us when we woke up who we are. While he woke us up and was waking us up, we had to come back to our inheritance, come back to our who we are. If thou will bethink themselves, everything, that parable about the wheat and the tare was to help us bethink ourselves. Everything about this Bible that was written, that we read, is to help us to figure out who we are and to realize who we are so we can repent. That's the thing. So we keep talking about, oh, no, Native Americans, and that's not helping us. That's giving them jurisdiction of this land. That's giving them I want to say that's helping them to deceive us. and giving them authority. That's the word I'm saying, giving them authority on the earth. When they cut us off from being a nation, they get authority on the earth. They can create the Federal Reserve. They can create police forces. They can create armies. Because we give them that authority when we won't stand up and take all of our identity back. And we know that the Israelites did a lot of teaching, but they also defeated their purpose because they were afraid of the army and the white people here, cognitive dissonance and Stockholm Syndrome, the Israelite camps. When they agreed, they looked at, I don't know what's wrong with these guys, man. They looked at the Native Americans with no melanin in their skin. And they looked at the Latinos and the other white nations that have power and government all across the Caribbeans, down in the Caribbeans in the Pacific side, and the Atlantic Ocean side, down in Brazil, all the islands. They looked at those two different groups of people, and they chose the white-looking people to say, these are our people. Now, do that make sense to anybody? The camps, they look and they see two groups of people in the land. You see the black Native Americans and you see the white people, $5 Indians who calling themselves Native Americans. And they chose to lift up the people without the melanin. And I'm going to show you why I'm saying that, why that matters. This guy's getting ready to tell you exactly what Yahweh, who the world calls Jesus Christ, translated in English, is supposed to be. The J wasn't around, so we know they translated, transliteration. He's going to tell you exactly what Matthew 13 and 25 was trying to tell you. The enemy sowed his seed among the wheat and went his way. Now, if you understand what that means, to have weeds sowed among your crop, if you understand what that means, the weeds were sabotaged. Esau sabotaged us as we woke up. Again, to give us a false sense of identity, to keep us away from our identity. And when the camps woke up and was teaching, Nate, General Yohanan, and all these other satellite camps that came along and didn't do any research. But now the research is coming out. For 10 years, I've been trying to tell you guys this. And it's in God's time. I understand. It's in Yahweh's time. He created everything, and he started it, predestinated it, wrote the scripts, set the stage, and then he said, I'll end it too. So he's ending it now. He's giving us the information that the camps refused to, maybe they were afraid. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe they were afraid. Maybe they didn't want to get their YouTube channels taken down. The reason why they went to the white people that was in slavery with us and said, these are our people too. Totally ignoring the black population, the northern kingdom that was moved from North America down to build empires for the Dutch, the English, the French, the Orientals, the Africans, down in the Caribbean, and in America. Their bastard children, the mulatto people, who said, me no black, me Scandinavian. He's going to tell you how that happened. I'm about to show you. So But I just wanted to let you know, listen closely and stop teaching. Look at what's happening now. Because we didn't go after the dark-skinned people, after the Northern Kingdom, the true blood Northern Kingdom in the Caribbean, look how they're fighting us now. They're able to deport the people who they took from this land, who this land belonged to. And all they have to do now is come back to their nationality. All they have to do, we know is that's what everybody's got to do to be safe as Babylon is falling, is to repent from being a citizen of this United States of America. That's not us. That's not our nation. The United States of America is not our nation. It's videos after videos and records after records that show how that happened. They've never been our nation. They forced us after we gave up our identity because of fear. After we woke up, we knew who we were. Because our grandparents was telling us, you are the Indians, you're not those slave people they brought over here. And they didn't bring that many. They captured the Indians' children. Gad was not the only Native American on this land. He was not the only Northern Kingdom tribe on this land. All 9.5 tribes were here on this land right here, North America. He's about to tell you how they build another nation. And you all know that your bloodline is from your father. He's about to show you that with science. Your bloodline is from your father. Jacob, Leah, Rachel. I can't right now. I can't give you the other. I think it was 5 women, handmaid, sisters, cousins, niece, that our nation came from. The 12 tribes came from Jacob and 4 women, 4 or 5 women. They were all black. They were all different shades of brown, copper tone. Some of them looked like brass burned in the furnace. Some of them, and so of course we have Israelites who have very little melanin, probably less melanin than what this guy has right here. He's Oriental. These people, Orientals, their ancestry do not come from Israelites. These guys here. Their ancestry comes from Moab and Ammon. Moab and Ammon was Lot's grandsons by his daughters. Remember what happened? Sodom and Gomorrah. They were black. Moab was black. Ammon was black. Alexander the Great, the Greek, the Romans, they went into Moab and Ammon and left his seed. That's how you got Chinese, Japanese, the Oriental. But we're going to look at this video because it's very important, because right now we are fighting our Foundation Black American people. That's what they call themselves. And our they call themselves let me put you on hold right quick. So yeah, I'm gonna go and let's watch the video. I had to cut off, so we'll watch the video and maybe I'll think of where I left off at.
Something far darker and far more specific. The DNA did not only reveal where these people came from, it revealed what was done to them And more precisely, it revealed who did it. 3 of the 16 genetically male individuals at Catoctin had paternal haplogroups, DNA inherited through an unbroken male lineage that were of likely European origin. Their Y-chromosomes, the genetic markers passed exclusively from father to son, traced back not to West Africa, not to the Congo, but to the British Isles. This finding is consistent with other genetic studies and supports historical records which show that the European ancestry of African Americans originated largely through a process whereby white men reproduced with black women as a result of rape. The science does not soften this. The science does not use euphemisms. It states plainly what happened in the quarters of enslaved workers at Catoctin Furnace and at 1,000 other sites across the American South and North. White men with power over black women exercised that power in the most violating way possible, and the children born from that violence, mixed in blood but classified as enslaved in law, carried European DNA forward in their mitochondria and chromosomes, a permanent genetic record of a crime that was never prosecuted, never acknowledged, and almost never named. This is not chaos. This is a confession encoded in biology. And there is more. The physical examination of the bones before DNA testing was even attempted told its own devastating story. One older man's back was so severely bent that it had to be...
So yeah, that's the thing right there. Because a lot of the camps use this example. Well, we know there are people. That's the thing right there. We know these are people because they was in the ghetto with us. They was in slavery with us, and it behooves me. It's bewildering to think that they can't think no farther than what they thinking. It's white people in the ghetto with us now. Well, are they Israelites? No. It's poor white people all over the earth. It's all the nations have poor people in them. And guess what? They are mingled with us, but they're not our nation. But we see here that Esau intentionally did that in all the world. In all the world, he went in and inseminated his seed into our women to build another race. And that's cutting us off from being a nation. How? Is because when we see them there, we do exactly what the Israelite camps did. We try to gather them up. We gathered them up with our people. But the problem is we're not gathering our people up. When we gather them up, our people on those islands, the copper tone people say, we ain't nothing but a bunch of coons. The camps, they don't have no respect for you when you come down there trying to gather up and go to Africa. You don't go do it in Africa. But when you say, hey, the Native Americans and the Latinos, they're our people too. They don't have no respect for you. The true Northern Kingdom that's on those lands with them have no respect for you after you do that. Why? Because they know that those Edomites with the Y-chromosome of Esau have been treating them like, less than human all their lives. They know their parents was enslaved to them. Now, we can't be the slaves and the slave master. That would go against prophecy. So we can't be the slaves and the slave masters. And on every land, the Most High, He put a slave master over us. He allowed them to get over us. They got up over us. Those are the strangers, right? Okay, so all praises to the Most High. Let me get back to these chromosomes. So, yeah, let me see. Y chromosome record show. Let me do this one more time. No, I don't go back here for. I don't want to go that far either.
Individuals at Catoctin had paternal haplogroups, DNA inherited through an unbroken male lineage that were of likely European origin. Their Y chromosomes, the genetic markers passed exclusively from father to son, traced back not to West Africa, not to the Congo, but to the British Isles. This finding is consistent with other genetic studies and supports
You hear what he said?
historical records, which show that the European ancestry of African Americans originated largely through a process whereby white men reproduced with black women as a result of rape. The science.
Did you hear what he said? European ancestry mixed with African Americans. He just told you who the Latinos was and who those fake Native American Indians are. That makes sense. That's science. That's science. It's also Bible prophecy. It's spiritual. That's a part of them hiding us from ourselves and cutting us off from being a nation. What does nations have? Things they inherited from their ancestors. That's the reason they cut us off from being a nation, so they could steal our inheritance. Jacob and Esau again. That's all it is, man. That's all it is, man. Them stealing our power and stealing our rights to control the earth, to our blessing that Jacob left. We got a blessing through Jacob. And that's what cutting us off from being a nation, so we won't be able to utilize the blessing that we inherited from Jacob. I hope y'all can get it, man. We'll see. And this is for people, maybe some of y'all get it, but then when you hear these Israelite camps and people who are uneducated or ignorant or just don't want to lose their YouTube channel, when you hear them say they was in the ghetto with us, they gotta be our people. The man just said the Europeans mingled himself with the black people, with the true Americans. That's us. He did that on purpose. You know, he didn't love the black woman that bad, that he just had to go, he had to force himself on her or have sex with his slaves. He left them in the ghetto, in the slave quarters with us. We had to raise his children. He knew what he was doing. Why? Because he knew one day they were going to raise up and say, I'm going to find my daddy. Ain't that what the bastard children do? The children, their father abandoned them, their parent abandoned them, and they go looking for them after they get grown. That's what the Native Americans has done. You my daddy. I want my portion of your inheritance. United States government. That's why they flood in here. And so the United States will let everybody flood in here, but he know who his children are. And so, the Latinos, come on in. He don't care about you. He don't care about pure white people. He don't care. This devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He did that all over the earth. So he don't want us to rise back up, because when we rise up, that means his kingdom is over and Christ's kingdom is coming in. They can't both be in existence at the same time. Two nations can't rule on earth at the same time when Christ comes back. So all praises to the Most High. Y'all stop fighting with the aliens, with the black aliens, and lift them up, man. It's your opportunity on TikTok to tell them who they are, man. Because the nations ain't going to do it. The camps ain't going to do it. They might lose their position on YouTube. They lose their brand. They lose their donations. How are they different from Christian preachers? Well, we know that's what they worried about. How are they different from the Pharisees? And they falsely teaching you that a people who are not our people, they are saying that they are our people, and they're stealing the inheritance, helping the Esau to steal the inheritance from our true Northern Kingdom brothers down in the Caribbean. But they'll run over in Africa and get stoned with rocks and stuff like that. You know, people that don't go to Africa, they'll run down in these little ghetto towns, and I see y'all fighting. I see y'all fighting with Mexicans and Edomites and Mexicans and Latinos right here in America. You camps that stay stateside. Y'all be out on the streets fighting the Mexicans, you know, getting beat up, talked about. I ain't gonna say getting beat up, because, like, we ain't taking no more ass whoopings. I can see that. I'm old. I know I ain't taking none, but, you know, I'm old enough to pack them brothers with me, too. But I see brothers standing up everywhere. They not... And, man, I saw a video online on Facebook. This little white dude knocked a black woman down, and a black man ran up. He knocked himself down. When he pushed her down, he fell. Oh, what make them think they got strength, man? They really think, in their mind, they think they strong, and you know, because they got that military and they got that uniform on. Well, when he knocked, I don't know, y'all probably didn't saw it. When he knocked her down, her dude ran up, the black dude ran up and just stood there in between them. So when the little Edomite police got up, he grabbed, the first thing he did, put his hand, they think they can touch us when they want to. He put his hand on the black dude, like, get out the way, I'm gonna arrest her. So the black dude wouldn't let him. So he went to push, I guess he thought he was gonna knock the black dude down like he did the woman. He pushed the black dude, and the black dude, like, stepped back on one foot, and the white dude damn near fell to the ground, man. It was like he tried to push an elephant down. And so that made him mad. He grabbed up on him again, and he the brother knocked his hand away. So he reached and grabbed him on both his shoulders again, and the brother just tapped him in his chest to push him back, one hand, left hand, and damn near broke his neck. He hit the ground, his head started jerking and stuff. I'm like, man, these dudes are so weak. And they run up and grab a hold to a gorilla, man. They grab hold to they grabbed a hold to a giant. That brother was like a giant to that little weak dude, man. And he got on a blue uniform. And as he was falling, he tore the dude's shirt. Tore his shirt off. He snatched his t-shirt off, threw it to the ground and said, yeah, what? And so the dude was so broken up, he had to grab the brother's pants leg to pull himself back up off the ground, man. The brother damn near broke his neck just pushing him in the chest, man. So we ain't letting you beat our women up. These brothers, man, I'm so proud of and that's the Northern Kingdom. Because the Northern Kingdom, y'all pointing at the Edomite $5 Indians and the Latinos that's, you know, Esau know that his bastard children, they're not gonna fight the power structure. The only people that are gonna fight that power structure would be the black Northern Kingdom that's in this land now. They the only people gonna stand up for Judah. Judah the bow, right? God bent Judah like a bow, woke the people up and told them who they are. And he shot out Ephraim, the Northern Kingdom, to go to war with these people. Hey, me no black ain't going to war. He ain't black. He ain't no kin to us. That's Esau's chromosome, Y-chromosome. Them $5 Indians ain't going to war and them Africans, if they are not repentant Israelites, they not going to protect us or go to war with us. No man shall buy thee. No man shall save you from these. The Most High is doing it. He's going to get his revenge and set us back in order by the hands of his people. Israel, and the curses. So all praise to the Most High. God bless.
Does not soften this. The science does not use euphemisms. It states plainly what happened in the quarters of enslaved workers at Catoctin Furnace and at 1,000 other sites across the American South and North. White men with power over black women exercised that power in the most violating way possible, and the children born from that violence, mixed in blood but classified as enslaved in law, carried European DNA forward in their mitochondria and chromosomes, a permanent genetic record of a crime that was never prosecuted, never acknowledged, and almost never named. This is not chaos. This is a confession encoded in biology. And there is more. The physical examination.
You go back and watch the video. I'm pretty sure it's pretty good, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. All praise to the Most High.